What is a debt snowball? This week's 3 tips. What's the difference between a buyer's and a seller's market? That's in this episode. Stick around. You'll find out the answers to all 3 here on the Strong Family Money Show. Let's go. Today. Do some filming, writing, ribs, and as part of the course. What's up, guys? My name's Andres. This is the Strong Family Money Show, where we help men improve their fitness, their finances, and their families so they can become better fathers by sharing my experience in improving all 3 of those areas. If you do me a favor and visit our sponsor, freshcoffee805.com, delivering and shipping freshly roasted coffee to you direct to your doorstep. If you visit them, without them we couldn't do this show. Anyway, back to the episode. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another episode of the Strong Family Money Show. This week's 3 tips for you are: number 1, enjoy your wife. You married your wife for a reason, right? She's your best friend. She's going to be there for the long haul. Others can chime in their experiences or what they believe. Your wife's your biggest fan for everything you do for you and her and your family. And she's the reason why you work so hard in everything you do. In my house, I make it a point to tell my wife that, if we aren't working, right, it doesn't matter how much we emphasize, time with the kids, right? Yes, kids are important. They're what makes you a family. But, if you and your wife aren't on good terms, or if you and your wife don't interact enough or show each other why you guys decided to marry each other, then, that really doesn't make a good family environment for the kids. So it doesn't matter how well you treat the kids. If you and your wife aren't on good terms, get along well, or interacting like couples should, then that really doesn't make for a good, doesn't make a good example for your family. So enjoy your wife. She's the reason you work hard. You married her for a reason, to be with her, till death do you part, rich or poor. So it's important that you spend time enjoying her just as your wife and not as the mother to your children. Okay, number 2, this is for the gym. Don't be afraid to go heavy and don't be afraid to go light. You have to decide what your goal in the gym is, and you have to decide what you have to do to reach that goal. Okay, so and heavy and light obviously are relative terms to what your training philosophy is or what your goal is. So light does not mean weights that are super easy. Light on the range of what is your 1 rep max, that is really the only side you should worry about. And all your lifts should be based on what that 1 rep max or what that theoretical 1 rep max is. Okay, so heavy is on the 80, probably 85% and above. Okay, if you are looking to get stronger, if you're looking to do like a powerlifting competition, Olympic weightlifters, they are mostly on that side of the spectrum at all times, right? Their training is a lot different than regular gym goers training, so we probably won't talk about them too much. But if you want to get stronger, you want to spend a lot of time on the heavy side of the spectrum. Usually, and there are instances where 50% of your 1 rep max, 40% of your 1 rep max, doing a lot of repetitions of those is important and beneficial. But for the most part, light, when you want to build muscle, you want to stay on and I say for the most part, it may sound like I'm contradicting myself, but for the most part, if you want to build muscle, you want to stay on the lighter end, 80, 75, 70, 65% of your 1 rep max for lots of repetitions. So you can't be afraid to, choose one, depending on what your goal is, and you can't be afraid to do both, okay? So if you spend a lot of time on this side, on the heavier side of the scale, you can't be afraid to, and it probably is beneficial to spend some time on the lighter side of the scale, either to give yourself a break from being over there or to help you build muscle so you can get stronger. On the other side of the coin is you spend a lot of time doing hypertrophy. It's good every once in a while to spend time doing a strength phase so that you can increase the load that you put on your muscle. So you want to test how strong you are, so then your hypertrophy, your muscle building range then gets bumped up the scale, right? So you actually want to go back and forth between the two. A So the analogy that everyone says is, a pyramid is only as strong as its base is wide. So if you do a lot of 1 rep max stuff, you're trying to build the height of your pyramid, but that puts you on pretty shaky ground if you don't do a lot of hypertrophy stuff or muscle building stuff that widens the base of your pyramid. So you want to make sure that you spend times on both sides of the equation of the spectrum, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to spend a lot of time on one side. So you want to 70% of your training on one side or the other, and every once in a while spend 30% on the other side. That will be beneficial to make you an overall physique. Okay, last is you don't have to be all things to all people. You don't want to waste your time doing that. You don't want to waste your time trying to make everybody happy. You have to first know who you are before you go out and try and make a lot of people happy, which I don't recommend. People usually don't care about you as much as you think they do, so you're actually probably wasting your time. That time can be used doing other things that are more constructive to help yourself out. You want to be who you want to be, not who you think they want you to be. And you just want to make sure that you spend most of your time worrying about how you feel about yourself, not how others feel about you. Okay, this is a waste of time. And that going around and making sure everyone likes you takes time away from you improving yourself, and ultimately that time can be used to improve your family and your marriage. And so you don't want to go out and waste your time you trying to be all things to all people. There you go, your 3 tips for this week. All right, guys, this is another installment of my real estate series. So I've been sharing information that I know as a real estate agent to help. So, I share things about being a better dad, about making your physique better. I do a lot of stuff on your finances, on what you should do to improve, basically how much money you have in the bank. I do a lot of stuff on, okay, you have a lot of money in the bank. Now, what are you going to do to increase the money that you have in the bank? Real estate is a great way to increase your net worth. You also need a place to live. Real estate is, if you look at the richest people in the world, a large percentage of them made their money in real estate. So it's important to know not only, personal finance, but you also should know about financial tools and vehicles that allow you to increase the money that you have in the bank. So today we're going to go over what is a seller's market. You hear these terms thrown around a lot. It's important to know what they mean. So what is a seller's market and what is a buyer's market? A buyer's market is when supply exceeds demand. So there are a lot of people that want to sell their home, and there aren't a lot of people that want to buy the home. So there's an overabundance of supply. So inventory is high. So at that point, the buyers have leverage over the sellers. So they know there's only one seller and there's 10 homes. So the buyer has, pick of the litter. And so what happens there is the only thing that the seller can do to sell their home is to make it more appealing to the one buyer. So usually what they do is, homes linger on the market a lot longer because people go around and they look at a bunch of homes. The only way that you have 2 homes that are equal and there's only one buyer. So what they have to do is they end up lowering the price of the home to make it more appealing to the buyer. That's what a buyer's market is. You got a lot of stuff to choose from as a buyer, and everyone is basically begging you to buy their home. So if you're in that market, what you want to do is you want to use it to your advantage and take your time. You don't want to go out and look at 1 home, 2 homes and say, oh, that's the one that I want. Or you want to look at as many homes as possible so you make sure you make the right decision, because you're basically in control at that time. So you want to look at as many properties as possible. And then you have pick of the litter. You say when you make your offer, you're able to make one that's favorable for you. You're able to get a better deal. Now, to the contrary, right now, what we're in a seller's market. So it's the complete opposite of what a buyer's market is. And we are in a seller's market right now. So demand is high, but inventory is low. So what happens is the complete opposite. The sellers have all the advantage. And by advantage means that they have, for every one property, there's like 5 or 6
buyers that want to buy the home. So what happens? They start bidding over market value. And so the buyer just throwing money at the seller. The seller is sitting back and just waiting to see what happens. Waiting for the dogs to quit fighting and see who's, still on top. And the seller is able to get, for the most part, a high selling price for their home. They can, for one, put it on the market for above what market value is, and they probably will either get it sold quickly if someone comes and gives them a value, a price that they are asking, or they can sell it above value because they're going to have 3 people and it's basically a bidding war, and the seller comes out on top either way. Okay, the buyer's market is when there are lots of homes on the market but not a lot of buyers. Seller's market is when there are not a lot of homes on the market but there are a lot of buyers. Tips for the seller market are basically the same thing but on the opposite side. You want to take your time. You don't want to jump at the first offer you get. You want to look as many offers as possible so that you make the right decision to sell your home and you get the best deal on your end. Seller versus buyer's market, I'm throwing around a lot. That's what they mean. I continue this series weekly, maybe every other week, on the home buying process and home buying tips and information that you should have if you're going to be a home buyer for the first time, or if you're a seasoned buyer and you want to start buying investment properties. And I'm going to also have information on that as well. So seller versus buyer's market, now you know. On to the next item. All right, guys, here we go. This is probably the most important tool that you can have in your arsenal of how to improve your finances. And this is the most basic thing that you can do. So we've talked about budgeting on another video. I'll link a video here on my budgeting video. Back when my wife and I just got married, we were younger. As with most people, we weren't financially savvy. We had debts from school. We had debts from credit card that we had. Everyone gets a credit card when they're younger, so we had all that going on like everyone else. We got to the point where we both had good jobs, but we were like, where's all our money going? So along with creating a budget, what we did to pay off the debt that we had was we used something called a debt snowball. Okay, this isn't anything that I'm taking credit for. There's a lot of information on the debt snowball out there. I'm just here to share it with you because we found that it is the easiest way to get debt under control. So what you do with the debt snowball is you sit down with your spouse and you guys write out all the debts you have. Besides your mortgage, you don't write that down. This goes along with your budget. So we have a budget, and then you have this method to pay off your debt. So you write down all of your debts that you have: credit card, car payment, any loan you have that you have to pay back. You write it down on a piece of paper from largest to smallest. And this is regardless of interest rate. You don't care about that. That's not what this is about. So we're just the raw number, right? The balance you have. So you say, okay, great. So you do not start from the largest one, you start from the smallest one. So you look at the smallest debt, and because you've done your budget, you know that 1, you can cover all those. 2, you've also started to cut back on things to give you extra money. Now, it's technically not extra money. You've gotten rid of frivolous expenditures, so you have money left at the end of the month to do something with. Okay, so let's say your lowest debt is $100 a month, and you've found a way by budgeting and cutting back to find another $50. Okay, we'll use that as an example. What you're going to do is you're going to take that $50 and you're going to apply it towards the smallest debt. The larger this number is, the money that you find, and you want to keep trying to find more money so that you can add it to the smallest debt that you owe. So because you're paying more than the minimum payment, you are going to pay it off faster. So you're going to do minimum payment plus whatever money you can allocate from your budget. You're going to pay off that smallest debt. Once you pay off that smallest debt, and while you're making the minimum payments on all the other debts, once that debt is at 0, the smallest one, you're then going to move on to the next smallest debt. So let's say that was a $200 a month payment as the minimum. What you're going to do is you're going to pay the $200, but now you're going to add the $150 you had from that previous debt to that payment. So now you're paying, instead of $200, you're paying $350 a month towards your second lowest debt. Once you pay that one off, and let's say the next one is $300, you're going to pay, as your third lowest was $300, you're going to pay the $300 plus the $350 from those other two. So now you're at $650 that you're going to pay to that one. You're just going to keep rolling it up and up, so that once you're at your largest debt that you have, you're going to take all the money that you would have paid to all of your other debts and only apply it towards that one debt. And that will allow you to pay off your debts a lot faster than you would have if you were just paying the minimum payments, never do that, on all your debts, or if you were paying more money towards. So what it really is, you know, once you pay off the first one, which is your lowest one, which should be the easiest one, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel good about it. It's going to reinforce that, yes, this method works. And really what the method is saving money and using it to do something positive instead of to something negative. So it really is no magic to this process. All it is just you know how to allocate your money to do the most for you and your family. But once again, the basic guidelines are: list all your debts, largest to smallest, not including your house payment. Make the minimum payments on all the debts except the lowest one. Take any money that you found while budgeting and saving, apply it towards the lowest debt. Once that debt's paid off, apply that money towards the next lowest, and keep doing that until you pay off all your debt. Okay? Most important thing, do not accrue any more debt, because then that throws the whole process out. Okay? You want to be a cash person. You don't want to, so if you have a bunch of credit cards, you want to stop using them. You want to be a cash person. That way you don't have to go through this process over and over and over again. Okay? That's the debt snowball. If you have any other questions, let me know. Send me an email. I have my email address in the description below. Thanks a lot. Those are the 3 important things for you to know this week. If you want to reach out to me, if you have any questions or any ideas for a show, I'd be more than happy to read your email. And if it's something that I have on my list, I'll move it up. If it's something that I don't have on my list of episodes to make, I'll be sure to make an episode just for you. Thanks a lot. Talk to you guys later. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Go and visit my website, strongfamilymoney.com, and you can then receive a free ebook, my Life Compass book, with tips other than the ones I share on these videos, on tips that I use to improve my life and the life of my family. You can also send me an email from there. My email is andres@strongfamilymoney.com, but if you want to visit that site while you're there picking up the books, you can shoot me an email if you're looking to buy and sell a home here in Ventura County. I'm a local real estate agent here, and I'd like to help you either sell or buy your next home. You can contact me through my website as well. Also, follow me on social media. I'll have the links in the description of this video for my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Twitter. You can also follow me on LinkedIn as well. I'll have that link there also. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the video. Please share with your friends the information that I'm giving you here. I like to help as many people as I can. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.